Wait, stop scrolling. Take a breath. What if the loose change sitting in your drawer, the coins you barely glance at, could quietly hold the power to change everything? Not someday, not in theory, right now. Because hidden among ordinary pennies are three names that collectors whisper about with a mix of disbelief and obsession: the 1974 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, the 1975 Lincoln 1-cent penny, and the 1979 D Lincoln 1-cent penny. These aren't just coins, they are stories frozen in metal. Each one carries a past shaped by error, rarity, and timing, the kind of timing that turns everyday money into something unforgettable. Imagine holding history between your fingers, unaware that it's worth more than a house, more than years of hard work. Somewhere, someone already has one of these coins, maybe unknowingly. Maybe it's in a jar, a drawer, or passed down through generations. And tonight, you might finally see them differently. Because once you understand what makes these coins extraordinary, you will never look at a penny the same way again. Welcome to Coin Value Guide, where every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Coin number 1. The 1974 D Lincoln 1-cent penny. There is something almost poetic about this coin. At first glance, it looks exactly like every other penny minted in the 1970s. The familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, calm and dignified, facing right. The simple copper tone, slightly worn with time. Nothing about it screams rarity. Nothing about it hints at the storm beneath its surface. And yet, for collectors, this coin represents one of the most fascinating mysteries in modern American numismatics. The story begins in the Denver Mint. During the early 1970s, the United States was quietly transitioning its coin compositions. Copper prices were rising, and experiments were underway to find alternatives. Somewhere in that process, a rare anomaly occurred. A small number of 1974 D pennies were struck on an experimental aluminum planche instead of the standard copper alloy. This wasn't supposed to happen. These pieces were never intended to leave the mint. But somehow, at least one did. Now imagine that. A coin never meant for circulation, slipping into the real world. It's the kind of accident that collectors dream about. Because rarity born from error is the most powerful kind of rarity there is. In terms of physical details, a standard 1974 D penny has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a weight of about 3.1 grams, and a thickness close to 1.52 millimeters. But the rare experimental version tells a different story. Aluminum is lighter, noticeably lighter. If you ever hold one, the difference is immediate, almost unsettling. It feels like a penny, but not quite. Condition plays a massive role here. In coin collecting, grading is everything. Professional grading companies like PCGs and NGC evaluate coins based on preservation, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. A coin graded mint state, especially in the upper ranges like MS65 or higher, can multiply its value dramatically. For a coin like this, even the slightest wear can mean the difference between a historical treasure and just an interesting curiosity. Collectors often search for subtle signs, the color tone, the surface texture, the weight in hand. Sometimes it's not about what you see, but what feels different. Now here's where the suspense deepens. Many believe that more of these experimental pieces could still exist. Hidden, unrecognized, passed down without documentation. Every time someone opens an old coin jar, there's a flicker of possibility. If you think you've found something unusual, the first step is authentication. Never clean the coin, never alter it. Send it to a trusted grading service like PCGs or NGC. They don't just assign a grade, they confirm authenticity, which is critical for coins of this magnitude. And if it turns out to be real, the next question becomes, where do you sell it? High-value coins like this don't belong in casual marketplaces. They belong in major auction houses, places like heritage auctions or Stack's Bowers, where serious collectors compete. That's where true value is realized. Because this isn't just a coin. It's a moment in history, a mistake that became a legend. And when that legend reaches the right buyer, the value of the 1974 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny can reach an astonishing $1.5 million. Coin number 2, the 1975 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now the story becomes even more intriguing. Because unlike the previous coin, this one doesn't rely on a dramatic material change. Instead, its rarity is rooted in something quieter, something almost invisible to the untrained eye. The 1975 Lincoln penny is, on paper, a common coin. Millions were produced. It circulated widely. Most people have seen one without giving it a second thought. But within that massive production lies a microscopic detail that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It comes down to the minting process, specifically die preparation. Coins are struck using dies that imprint the design onto blank planchets. Sometimes those dies develop flaws, tiny imperfections, and occasionally those imperfections create unique variations that only a handful of coins carry. For the rare 1975 penny, collectors focus on specific die anomalies, including double die characteristics. This is where the design appears slightly duplicated, as if the coin was struck twice but just barely misaligned. The effect can be subtle, often visible in the lettering or the date under magnification. This is where knowledge becomes power, because to most people, it's just a penny, but to a trained eye, it's a discovery. Physically, the coin maintains standard specifications: diameter of 19.05 millimeters, weight around 3.111 grams, thickness near 1.52 millimeters. Nothing unusual there, which makes the hidden detail even more thrilling. Condition, once again, is critical. A circulated coin with heavy wear might still be rare, but its value drops significantly. On the other hand, a well-preserved example, especially one graded MS-66 or higher by PCGs or NGC, becomes a centerpiece item. Collectors often describe the hunt for this coin as a test of patience. You go through rolls of pennies, one after another, searching for that one subtle sign. It's almost meditative. And then suddenly, you see it. A slight doubling, a shift in the lettering, your heart skips. But here's the twist. Many of these coins were spent decades ago, passed from hand to hand. They could be anywhere, which means the possibility still exists. If you believe you've found one, the same rules apply. Preserve it, authenticate it, let professionals evaluate it. Because in numismatics, verification is everything. And when it comes time to sell, you want visibility. Auction platforms that attract serious collectors, not just for the price, but for the story. Because buyers aren't just purchasing metal, they're buying rarity, history, and the thrill of ownership. And when all those elements align, the value of the 1975 Lincoln 1-cent penny can rise to an incredible $2 million. Coin number 3, the 1979 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. By now, you might think you understand the pattern, but this coin changes the rhythm entirely. Because its story isn't just about error or subtle variation, it's about perception and how something overlooked can become extraordinary. The 1979 D penny comes from the Denver Mint, like the first coin. At a glance, it's as ordinary as they come. But within certain rare examples lies a combination of factors that elevate it far beyond its face value. Collectors have identified specific high-grade specimens and rare strike anomalies that make this coin incredibly desirable. Unlike dramatic errors, these are often about perfection. The sharpness of the strike, the clarity of Lincoln's profile, the absence of blemishes. In coin collecting, perfection is rare. Most coins experience wear, contact marks, or minor defects, but occasionally one emerges nearly flawless. These are the coins that grading companies reward with top-tier ratings like MS67 or even higher, and that's where the magic happens. Because while millions of 1979 D pennies exist, only a tiny fraction achieve that level of preservation, and scarcity at the top creates intense demand. The physical specifications remain standard: diameter of 19.05 millimeters, weight of 3.11 grams, thickness around 1.52 millimeters. But what sets it apart is condition and strike quality. When submitting to PCGs or NGC, every detail is examined. Surface luster, strike precision, even the smallest imperfections are noted. It's a meticulous process, but it's what transforms a coin into a certified collectible. There's also a psychological element here. Collectors are drawn to the idea of owning the best, not just a rare coin, but the finest known example. It becomes a benchmark, a piece of prestige. Finding one isn't easy. It requires patience, knowledge, and sometimes a bit of luck. But that's the essence of coin collecting. The possibility that something extraordinary is hiding in plain sight. If you discover a high-grade specimen, the path forward is clear. Protect it, grade it, and when the time comes, present it to the right audience. Major auctions, private collectors, serious buyers who understand its significance. Because in the right condition, with the right certification and the right moment, the value of the 1979 D Lincoln 1-cent penny can reach an astonishing $2.5 million. And just like that, 3 ordinary pennies become something else entirely. Not just currency, but stories, mysteries, and life-changing discoveries waiting to be found.